So as it turns out, almost all weapons in this game don't work properly. Let me explain why. Well, it all started when I was testing out a specific weapon, the Ritual Spear. You can loot it off a spear-wielding enemy in the Cave Dweller village. As a side note, on the rare event that the village is slaughtered by Moonless Guards, you can't actually pick this weapon up anymore because the one corpse that would normally have the spear only gives you an infinite supply of iron spears instead for some reason. I don't know, it's a weird bug, but that's not the main point of this video. Anyway, I got this Ritual Spear, and according to its description, presumably it can poison your enemies. That's really powerful because stats effects like poison, bleeding, or burning will always do percentage-based damage dependent on the enemy's HP. In particular, torsos tend to have a very high maximum HP just under the surface that you don't really get to see, because the game is often scripted to let you win the fight if it's reduced to a certain amount. A good example is the Crow Mauler, which is scripted to die if you reduce its torso HP to 75%, which makes poison really good against it because you end up doing a lot of damage per turn. Okay, so that's why I was really excited to use this poison applying weapon, because it sounds really strong. So what happened? Well, it doesn't work. No matter how many times I attack with this weapon, it never applies poison. So I'm like, that's weird. Why is that? Well, I dove into the game files, and as you can see here, the variable being used to seemingly apply poison is state rate. But that doesn't do anything, because state rate, as you can see, simply increases the probability of applying the effect, but not the effect itself. As you may already know, this is the same issue with the Eastern Perfume accessory, which should apply taunt to the wearer, but it's also using the wrong variable. Basically, as it is, it does nothing. And this is where I checked all of the other weapons. The Shark Thief should have a high probability of applying bleed, but it never does. The same problem with the Iron Mace, which should apply stun, but no. And all of these other weapons that should apply some kind of stats effect, but they don't. They're all broken. The only weapon that does work, as far as I know, is the Blue Sin. Specifically, the Curse version, which has the additional effect of applying the burning stats effect 70% of the time. It works properly because it uses attack state instead of state rate, which does apply the stats effect properly. And in case you don't know, you can grab this weapon in the mines near the soul-sucking ghosts, and make sure to teleport away with a Passages Mahabre to avoid being crushed by the falling rocks. Then after teleporting back and leaving from an alternate exit, you can curse the weapon with 4 lesser souls at a hexen. But anyway, back to the Ritual Spear. To see if I could fix it, I changed the state rate to attack state instead, and voila, the spear poisons enemies now. I imagine you can apply this fix to all the other weapons as well. There you go. That's why almost all the weapons in this game just don't work as intended. If they did, the game would probably be a lot easier because these stats effects are pretty strong if they worked. Fun fact, burning, bleeding, and poison, at least when applied to the enemy, all do about 10% HP based damage per turn, and they all stack too. That's a lot of damage. It can kill a lot of bosses in about a turn or two. So yeah, turns out we could be using much stronger variations of these weapons, but oh well. I mean, to be fair, you can maybe argue that this change was intended to maintain the game's difficulty, but if that was the case, then why do all the descriptions still describe the weapons as if they could apply stats effects? I think it's a bug, but I guess only the developer can confirm that. Anyways, that's it from me about this particular topic. I just want to point this out, and I hope it was informative. If you'd like to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Though I may not make much more of this particular type of content, though I did make a previous video about how accuracy mechanics work in this game, so that might be interesting for you. As well as a full playthrough of Fear and Hunger, with all the endings including hard mode, so you can check that out on the channel if you like. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you then.